Here we're continuing to investigate the topology of the real number line, and we want to look at a new notion, and that is the notion of a limit point. But before we do that, I want to recall something else. So for A in the real numbers, the epsilon neighborhood of A is defined in the following way. So the notation that we will use is V sub epsilon A, and it's really just the open interval A minus epsilon to A plus epsilon. So in other words, it's all points X that lie between A minus epsilon and A plus epsilon. In other words, X minus A is less than epsilon, and that's in absolute values. Great. Now we're ready for our new definition. So we say that X is a limit point of a set of real numbers A if for all epsilon bigger than 0, the epsilon X intersect A. In other words, that epsilon neighborhood of X intersected with A contains at least one point other than X. And the super important part of this is the fact that this works for all epsilon bigger than 0. So now we're going to look at a couple of examples before looking at a really classic result relating to limit points. So the first example that I want to look at is a closed interval 1, 3. So the first thing we'll do is look at what will eventually be called an interior point of this closed interval and claim that that is a limit point. So let's go ahead and do that. So claim 2 is a limit point of our closed interval 1, 3. Good. And we need to do that by showing that it satisfies this definition right here. So let's suppose that we are given some arbitrary epsilon bigger than 0. This has to be arbitrary because this condition has to be satisfied for all epsilon bigger than 0. And then the next thing that we want to do is notice that if we take the intersection of 2 minus epsilon and 2 plus epsilon with our set, which is the closed interval 1 to 3, we really have two cases for this intersection. So the first case is that it's equal to 2 minus epsilon, 2 plus epsilon itself. And this case holds whenever epsilon is less than or equal to 1. So if epsilon is less than or equal to 1, and that's pretty easy to check because if epsilon is equal to 1, then we get the open interval 1 to 3. We intersect that with the closed interval 1 to 3, and we get the interval 1 to 3. And then next, we'll notice that if epsilon is bigger than 1, then we get the whole set, in other words, that whole closed interval. But now what we want to notice is that each of these sets most definitely contain an element which is not equal to the number 2. For example, this top set contains the element maybe 2 plus epsilon over 2. So maybe let's notice this. If epsilon is less than 1, then 2 plus epsilon over 2 is most definitely an element of this open interval 2 minus epsilon, 2 plus epsilon, which is the intersection here. And notice 2 plus epsilon is not going to be equal to epsilon because we are assuming that epsilon is bigger than 0. And then next, if epsilon is bigger than 1, well then we have a whole slew of choices that are in that intersection, and we might as well pick one at seemingly random. So then 1 is in the closed interval 1 to 3, and again, that's the intersection in this case. So in both of the cases, we have shown that there is an element inside of the intersection of the epsilon neighborhood and our original starting set, which was not equal to the center of that epsilon neighborhood. So in other words, 2 is a limit point. So I'll clean this up and then we'll carefully show that 1 is a limit point as well. So now we're going to show that 1 is a limit point of 1, 3, and a similar proof would show that 3 is also a limit point. Okay, so let's get to it. So let's say that we are given some epsilon bigger than 0. Let's go ahead and notice that if we take the epsilon neighborhood, in other words, the open interval 1 minus epsilon, 1 plus epsilon, maybe I'll go ahead and point out that this is V epsilon 1. In other words, this open interval centered at 1 with radius epsilon. Now we're going to intersect that with the original set 1 comma 3. And notice in this case, we get the following as an output. So we'll get the half open interval 1 to 1 plus epsilon if epsilon is less than or equal to 2. Great. And then we'll get the whole closed interval 1 to 3 if epsilon is bigger than 2. And in both of those cases, we can find an element from that intersection which is not equal to 1, but then that means that 1 is a limit point. So I'll let you guys check all of the details like we did before, but what we end up with is 1 is a limit point of 1 comma 3. And before we move on, I should say that very similar proofs can be used to attack the open interval 1 to 3. So an interior point like 2 will be a limit point, but then these points on the boundary like 1 and 3, which are not in the set, will also be limit points. Okay, so I'll clean this up and we'll look at another example. We're going to look at one more example which will give us some motivation for the theorem that we'll prove in just a second. And this is given by the set containing 1, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, and so on and so forth. In other words, the reciprocals of all of the natural numbers. So I've written that like this: 1 over n as n goes from 1 to infinity. I'll go ahead and call that set A. And our claim is that 0 is a limit point of A. And this is maybe interesting because we can readily check that 0 is not an element from A. So just as we discussed before with the open interval, limit points of sets need not be inside of sets. Okay, so let's look at the careful proof of this claim. In other words, that the 0 is a limit point of A. So again, we're going to show that this definition is satisfied. This definition has this 4 epsilon condition, which means we need to start with an arbitrary epsilon. So let's say that we are given epsilon bigger than 0. So what we can do now is find some natural number, capital N, such that 1 over n is less than epsilon. So we do this kind of thing all the time, and this is by the Archimedean principle. So great. And now what I want to notice is that the fact that 1 over n is less than epsilon and the fact that n is a natural number means that 1 over n is between 0 and epsilon. But then this tells us that 1 over n is inside of the open interval 0 minus epsilon to 0 plus epsilon. So obviously it's in the open interval 0 to epsilon, but I'll write it in this form because this is exactly the definition of this epsilon neighborhood centered at 0. But then 1 over n is also an element of A, so that means we can say it's in the intersection of that epsilon neighborhood and A. And now I should point out this is all with 1 over n not equal to 0. So in other words, we have found an element in the intersection of these two things which is not equal to 0. But what that means is that 0 is a limit point of A. And that's the end of that proof. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean this up and we'll look at a classic theorem that will relate limit points of sets and limits of sequences. Now we're ready to look at a classic theorem that ties together the notion of the limit point of a set and the limit of a sequence of real numbers. So let's see what it says. So X is a limit point of a set A if and only if there exists a sequence of real numbers, which is a subset of A, such that these two conditions are satisfied. The limit as n goes to infinity of A sub n equals X, and A sub n is not equal to X for all natural numbers n. So each of those are very important in order to make this work. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the proof of this theorem, starting with the forward direction. So in other words, we are going to suppose that X is a limit point of A. And now what we need to do is construct some sequence of real numbers that converges to x where none of them are equal to x. So we can do that taking some motivation from what we saw on the last board. So let's notice for all natural numbers n, there exists, now maybe I'll write it like this, x is not equal to a sub n, which is inside of the 1 over n neighborhood centered at x. So in other words, this is the case when epsilon equals 1 over n intersect with a. Great. So in other words, what we have, because of the fact that x is a limit point, we know for all epsilon bigger than 0, the epsilon neighborhood intersect the set is non-empty, and it contains an element that's not x. So we'll just set epsilon equal to 1 over n. So now for each of these choices of epsilon 1 over n, we are guaranteed that this epsilon neighborhood and the set have an intersection point which is not the limit point x by our definition over here. We'll take that intersection point to be a sub n. Great. And now what we want to notice is that we have constructed a sequence that is completely contained in the set A. Great. Now, we'll also make the claim that the limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n is in fact x. Okay, so we've got this part of it, and now we want to prove this part of it. And we'll do this by showing that the definition of the convergence of a sequence is satisfied. So let's say that we are given epsilon bigger than 0. Notice that means we can find some natural number n with 1 over n less than epsilon by the Archimedean principle. And now what we want to do is notice for little n bigger than or equal to capital N, we have 1 over little n is necessarily less than or equal to 1 over capital N. But that tells us that a sub n is inside of this epsilon neighborhood. In this case, it's the 1 over n neighborhood of x. But that 1 over little n neighborhood of x is inside of the 1 over capital N neighborhood of x. But now rewriting this as an open interval, this is the open interval x minus 1 over n to x plus 1 over n. But now, given the fact that 1 over n is less than epsilon, we know that this open interval is contained inside of the open interval x minus epsilon, x plus epsilon. But reading off this statement right here and this right here is equivalent to the inequality inside of the definition of the convergence of a sequence. So I'll let you guys recheck that if you need to. Okay, so now we're done with this direction. And now we're ready to look at the other direction. So now we want to suppose that we have this sequence of real numbers that is completely contained in our set A, such that two things are satisfied. An is not equal to x, and that needs to be true for all natural numbers n. And we know the limit of this sequence. In other words, the limit is n goes to infinity of a sub n is equal to x. And now I just want to point out what we want to show is x is a limit point of A. Because that's exactly what the reverse direction of this if and only if statement has as its goal. Okay, but then recall, for it to be a limit point of A, we have to do this thing for an arbitrary epsilon like described over here. So let's go ahead and bring that into existence. So let's say that we are given some arbitrary epsilon bigger than 0. Now, since this limit converges, we know that we can find some capital N, which is a natural number, such that if little n is bigger than or equal to capital N, we have the absolute value of a sub n minus x is less than epsilon. But notice that that is exactly the same thing as minus epsilon is less than a sub n minus x, which is less than plus epsilon. Great. But now we can rework that inequality a little bit and notice that that is exactly the same as x minus epsilon is less than a sub n, which is less than x plus epsilon. But that's exactly the same as the condition that a sub n is an element from the open interval x minus epsilon, x plus epsilon. But notice that that open interval is exactly the epsilon neighborhood centered at x. So we can write that as v epsilon x. But now what we'll notice is that we have found some element a sub n which is not equal to x, which is inside of this epsilon neighborhood centered at x, intersect this set A. But that condition is exactly what we need in order to have x as a limit point, so we can finish it off. X is a limit point of A. And that's a good place to stop.